Roguelikes, in my opinion, are some of the best games out there. The near endless amount of things to do and to figure out for such a small price point with a huge emphasis on fun and skill expression makes them unbeatable to people like me who get bored easily and love a challenge. My love for the genre started with the last game on this list that I put hundreds of hours into and finished almost 100% of, and still go back to and play when I want some good old-fashioned roguelike fun. For a person with ADHD who needs constant stimulus, this genre of video games have been a godsend in calming down my mind or just keeping it busy while listening to things like audiobooks or podcasts, and allow my brain to decompress after my thinky parts hurty too much for using them. This video will cover the biggest roguelikes that have been released in recent years and will serve more as an appreciation post rather than simply just reviews. So without further ado, let's get into it. Cult of the Lamb does something really genius, and that is that it takes two complete opposites of one another and combines them multiple times to make a truly magnificent experience. First, it takes the cutest art style with the sweetest little guys and makes them do terrible things, which seems to always get a chuckle out of me. When you first see this guy in game, you say to yourself, "Aw, he's so cute and small and nice." Just what he wants you to think. Your first commandment of sorts is to indoctrinate as many small woodland creatures into your cult as possible, and it's explicitly stated to use them as much as you can to get the most out of them. The other way this game implements two opposites is by integrating peaceful life simulation game mechanics with the intense roguelike gameplay. One side of the coin is an action-packed cutesy slaughterhouse with you trying to kill as many unbelievers as possible, and the other a peaceful farming sim with you cleaning, harvesting, and building to make sure your followers have what they need and guarantee the only way out is through death. But don't worry, they actually like that, because I told them to. The integration of these two types of games into one gives the player a nice sense of progression that you don't really get in other games like this, and allows people who aren't the best feel like they're doing something to progress the story further because they are. It's no longer about getting as far as you can, and more about getting as much as you can for the sake of feeding your followers, or giving them cute homes, or sacrificing them to Moloch like some Old Testament pagan. This genre is known for its difficulty, and to see games like this lower the barrier to entry by its mechanics and being able to choose separate difficulties was really cool. Now, as much as I like to indoctrinate innocent and abused people into my cult and building little sleeping bags for them and even giving them names so that you get attached to them even though they'll probably just die, and knowing that you'll never get these little buddies back ever again if they do, you come to these games for the combat, so let's talk about it. It's done incredibly well. It's fun and slower paced, with each hit of your sword or battle axe or demon hand having good feedback that I really enjoy, because to have it be satisfying to hit and kill something feels great. The areas you fight in are filled with destructible items that sometimes yield hearts to replenish your health, or other materials you can use to build things in your cult depending on the item you hit. Enemies are unique and fun to fight, except for the bats. I hate these things. The difficulty in this game doesn't necessarily come from how hard the enemies are to kill or how many can be in a given area, and more so having to deal with and dodge their attacks or abilities and hitting them back when you have an opportunity. Learning how the enemies fight, what they do, how quickly you can swing your weapon, and whether or not you can afford to go for an extra swing, or if going for that extra swing will be the reason you died. And this makes combat complex and interesting. You start every level with a melee weapon and a curse. Every level has multiple rooms that are either filled with enemies, have a weird tarot card guide that gives you an upgrade for your run, or something else. Every dungeon is made up of these series of rooms, and at the end of each floor you can choose what path you want to take, with the end of each path being a boss room. The bosses can be an absolute pain in the ass, but again, you play these types of games for the challenge and strive to do better every time you do a run. The upgrades you get by progressing through this game's story and skill trees make it a lot more addicting than I thought, and always made me want to play more. So if you don't like to have fun and sex, then don't play this game. I gave Cult of the Lamb a 4 out of 5. Hades is a game that changes the normal run system and removes the choice of difficulty to combine it with incredibly fluid gameplay, mechanics, combat, and story. AKA, this game feels amazing to play, it's super hard, and the characters are hot. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because this game freaking slaps. Hades takes place in the underworld where you play as Zagreus, son of the big man himself. Being a god stuck in his emo phase, he wants to leave and escape to the surface, and subsequently to Mount Olympus where all the other gods are. The other gods, knowing you want to escape, aid you in doing so by giving you upgrades to your attacks, which can be as simple as doing more damage to changing attributes of your person. None of them do a lot per se, however, collecting enough makes you feel invincible. No matter how unstoppable you may seem, it can all end very quickly with this game's difficulty. Roguelikes aren't known for being easy, but the game is harder than most in this respect, and Hades has a pretty unique way of dealing with this problem. Most roguelikes force you to get better by simple repetition of their levels, but Hades allows you to unlock the missing easy mode by upgrading Zagreus in combination with upgrades to your arsenal. In Hades, you're able to choose one of 6 weapons, each with 4 different variants and each with their own unique moveset that allow you to improvise, not just with combos but with entire series of upgrades I mentioned earlier to further expand on this game's combat that isn't halted by frame data or some stupid stamina gauge. It encourages you to fight with the only thing stopping you from glory is your own willpower and skill. I don't know what it is about indie games, but damn do they always look super pretty. While AAA developers try to make their games look as close to reality as possible, indie developers often do the exact opposite, and ironically, the ones furthest away from reality make them seem more alive. The art style in these games are extremely important, and Supergiant spares no expense to make it look as beautiful as possible. The character design is great, the areas you fight in and explore are great, the seamless mixture of 2 and 3D with real attention to detail is truly beautiful, and the fighting looks and feels super good. The kaleidoscope of color from explosions, stabbing, slashing, punching, and shooting, while managing to always stay visually clear and easy to follow, only speaks to the brilliance of this game's art team, and always makes it a joy to play the rebellious heartthrob son of the king of the underworld. Hades gets a 5 out of 5. Hellboy Web of Word is a game that I tried my hardest to enjoy more than I did, and made me say something I never thought I would. Gaming journalists were right. As a fan of Guillermo del Toro's adaptation to the silver screen and Mike Mignola's original comics, I was really looking forward to playing this game after it was announced at Gamescom 2023. But it's just too damn easy. The little guys don't do anything, the big guys die relatively quickly, and when you kill the big guys, the little guys die automatically. If there are multiple big guys, they never overwhelm you, forcing you to think or get better, and instead wait for you to finish killing their family to then get caught in a combo string so you can finish the room and go to the next one to repeat the process. Yeah. There's never enough enemies either, and even if there were, it wouldn't matter for reasons I mentioned prior. The bosses are laughably easy as well.
Okay. Like, how is that acceptable? In what world? Like, I want the game to be difficult. I should have died there. In any other roguelike, I would have died.
Maybe if the game had a difficulty select to make the enemies harder, it would fix the problem, but I don't think that making the enemies kill you faster or die slower would be a good solution for multiple reasons, especially with every big enemy having the exact same moveset. Moving away from the game's difficulty into its story, I don't really know what the story's about, and I don't care about it, because I didn't listen to a single thing anybody said. except for Big Red himself, being voiced by the late and great Lance Reddick, so I won't dock any points on that end because having this soothing, chilled out voice fits Hellboy so perfectly.
Don't know what to say. That's Nazis for you.
The story doesn't make much sense, but I can live with less than a good story if the gameplay is there. The combat, albeit redundant, is fun, smacking monsters into walls, coming up with new combos, dodging attacks, and parrying to get a sick counterattack. It is awesome. The attacks feel weighty and damaging, and the art direction with everything in this game shining even brighter when you finally get good at fighting. The art direction in this game is great and makes Mignola's original Dark Horse comics come to life, but it's just too bad the rest of the game doesn't follow suit. Hellboy Web of Word is a game that had so much potential and unfortunately fell short on its promise of giving us fans of the series a good game to the point that it felt unfinished and made for the sake of making it.
Look at this. Attack me!
I give it a 2 out of 5. There's a place in the universe, a dangerous place that is said to hold a magic gun with the power to kill your past. This valuable bounty draws all types of species from all around the galaxies in hopes of wiping the slate clean and becoming someone else. This place is called the Gungeon. Enter the Gungeon was my first love of roguelikes. The goal of the game is to kill your past, but to do so you have to go through 5 different floors, each with the enemies increasing in difficulty, each with their own very difficult boss, and every single time you die, you're sent back to the beginning. Now, that sounds incredibly frustrating, and believe me, it is. But it's not just about the end, because there are so many things to explore and find in this very ancient murder hotel, and this game is the definition of the journey is more important than the destination. The Gungeon is filled with adorable little characters and secrets throughout it. The 2 hot nurses that heal you up to full, the cool goblin guy that sells you things off the black market. If you leave ammo drops in a given room, this son of a bitch shows up and steals your stuff. The enemies themselves are walking bullets. There's a shopkeeper on every floor, and it's the one place you're never allowed to shoot, because if you do, he will kill you. The secret floors, the secret bosses, awesome synergies with items and cool gun combos, and so many awesome characters with funny dialogue that bring an immense amount of life and friendship into this never-ending lonely structure of death that gets crazier the deeper you go. Or higher you go? I don't really know the logistics of the building. The guns are incredible. There's a balloon gun that allows you to fly and is really strong, but if you get hit with it equipped, it breaks like a glass cannon. Not to be confused with the literal glass cannon. A slingshot, a black hole gun, a gun that shoots money, a gun that's not really that good but makes you go really fast.
Why are we going so fucking fast, nigga? Hell, what?
It's got guns from Duck Hunt, Super Meat Boy, Mega Man, Destiny, Predator, and so many more. You got guns that are bullets that shoot guns that shoot bullets. A banana. And one that does a kickflip every time you reload it.
It is rad. The gun is right.
This game is so special, and it brought me so much joy in a time where I wasn't very joyful. All of this game is filled with so much pixelated personality that it doesn't matter how many times you die because you always have something new in store the very next run. I didn't want to go too in detail in this video because there's so much of this game that just needs to be experienced, so go and play it. Enter the Gungeon gets a perfect score from me. But seriously, this game gets crazy. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. Don't forget to sub and all that YouTube stuff so you never miss an upload, and be sure to check out my streams if you get the chance. I'll be streaming most weekdays from 8 to 11 AM and every Saturday from 3 to 10 PM Mountain Standard Time. So you can come chill with me before you go to work or after you get off. And if you can't make it to the streams, I'll be uploading edits to my gaming channel, so make sure to subscribe over there as well. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless, and good night.